push-ups. I've been doing sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a Tuesday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you. So happy you're with us. So happy you can spend some time with us. It's a big week, coming off of a big weekend, coming off of a big Monday. We got so much to talk about and about 60 minutes to do so. We're going to cover things. So listen, here's the deal. Today was an incredible, not that anybody wants to hear my story or how tragic it is that I've got to run over God's green earth to make sure that everything's ready for today and all the stuff going on. We're going to take you through each and every little bit of it. But I got to tell you, we had guests lined up and I canceled on them because I said, hey, listen, let's push you an extra day. Cause I wasn't quite sure, to be honest with you, if this show was even going to happen today. We had plans for yesterday's show. We ended up being on the links. We were out there with the YSU baseball golf extravaganza. I'll say that 6 times fast. And we just had a great time. Richie Giuliano, as well as Anthony Romo, Quinn Pushkar, myself, we were a foursome. And then there was a ton of great people, including the Silver Fox himself, the general manager of YSN, Steve Leslie, was out on the links yesterday. It was great to see him out there. He has been... I feel like we hadn't seen him in forever, even though it's only been a few weeks since Class B had closed up shop for the season. Always good seeing a lot of those folks. And, of course, we had the chance to really chop it up a little bit with Daryl Strawberry, the 8-time All-Star. Unbelievable. Richie got to go to the event on Sunday evening, which he said was a blast. And just to kind of bring it up, and I'll talk a little bit about more when we go over it, but if you ever have a chance to go to a YSU golf outing, you have to do it because it is the creme de la creme. They bring in unbelievable people to speak. They bring in great people to just hang out for the day, and the golfing is spectacular. I'm looking forward to it each and every year. Thanks to Danny Bertolini for allowing us to take part in it naturally, for allowing us to be part of the sponsorship kind of brass. And, you know, you never know who you're going to see out there. So make sure that the next time it comes around, it's going to sell out fast. We're going to be there certainly. So make sure you come hang out. And I know a lot of people were asking after the fact how you get involved, how you can get out to that outing. And it directly supports the YSU baseball team. So we're excited. We have another one coming up in a couple weeks that supports the YSU women's basketball team that we're proud to be sponsoring as well. For more questions, you can email info@ysnlive.com. Let's just get this baby started. Let's cook it on this day in sports history, starting right now. All right, so I'm going to warn you about this one. One's a little grotesque from a standpoint, but on this day in sports history is just supposed to educate you a little bit and educate me at the same time because I had no idea that this ever happened. So on this day in sports history, the 16th of August, in 1920, shouldn't laugh, Cleveland Indians shortstop Ray Chapman is hit in the head by New York Yankees pitcher Carl Mays. Chapman dies the next day in only MLB game-related fatality of all time. Now, we've seen people get hit in the head before. Pardon me, before. It's been 5 months. This cough can go away anytime now. Anytime. We've seen people get hit in the head in like dangerous situations. But this is before they had helmets. And this was like serious stuff. We've seen guys go down like a ton of bricks. But the first and only ever major league fatality, as it stands, and I haven't done any research on this, so there could be another one along the way. But in 1920, 102 years ago, MLB, Cleveland. Why are the Cleveland Indians also like always engaged in this stuff too? I feel like every one of these, I mean, they could be cursed. They could be cursed, absolutely. Oh, here we go. PK says he's buried in Lakeview Cemetery in Cleveland. That's a good look. That's a good look. That's good to know. I have no ambitions of going out there. First off, cemeteries aren't my bag to begin with. Not a fan of cemeteries. We used to hold our breath as we passed them when we were kids. I don't know if anybody else did that, if that was just a superstition. But I remember doing that. Not a fan of cemeteries. Like, I'm not crazy about them in the first place. So I'll PK, I'm going to trust you on that. You're going to be our cemetery reporter for the day, for that one. But here's the other thing. I am surprised that there are not more fatalities or severe, and I'm talking like career-ending injuries nowadays from not only the batter side of things when you get hit in the head, but what about pitchers? How many times have we seen pitchers get comebackers and it hits them at 112, 113 miles an hour? So it's coming in harder back at you than it was when you threw it. And these guys just go on to play, and not only go on to play, but play like they haven't missed a beat. I'm surprised. I've always been surprised. I've always been just baffled by how people are able to do it. But if you've ever had a ball hit back at you, it's interesting because it's almost like the ball's in slow motion. The play's in slow motion. It's kind of a trick that your mind does, because I've been on both sides of that. From the catcher's perspective, when it's fouled off, that ball it's on you quick, but you see it coming and you can't do anything about it. Like, your hand doesn't move like the Flash. It can't catch up. But from a pitcher standpoint, so I was a men's slow pitch softball pitcher, right? In the yesteryear. When there's a comeback, or when the middle's open, as they say, it's slow motion. And sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. And that's why you wear a helmet when you're doing men's slow pitch softball. But the reality is, it's crazy. So it makes me wonder if it's the same way. Now, I never had that experience in the box. Like, if it was coming at you at 75, 80, 90 miles an hour, it was coming at you. And you couldn't do a whole lot about it except for turn into it a little bit. You let it hit you in the back because you don't want to hit in the front. So it interests me about, kind of full circle. I don't know why I'm glad there's not more fatalities, but it boggles my mind. I'm baffled how there aren't more. In 1920, that's the only fatality in MLB history, which is crazy considering how many years baseball has been played. I'd be interested to see what is the number one sport for fatalities. I mean, you'd think boxing, right? You'd think boxing or a combat sport, something along those lines. I don't know. If I was a betting man, and I am, I'd probably put it on boxing. That's where I would put it without just going in blind. So, all right, let's get to kind of starting on Friday into Saturday, kind of the YSN philosophy of things. We're going to talk about a lot today. We're going to talk about how the academy was on Friday, on Saturday. We're going to talk about the outing on Monday, yesterday, and then we're going to talk about the rest of the week, because there's a lot of rumors swirling around about what's going to happen this week, and we're going to set them straight right here, right now on this show, and let you know what you can expect here on YSN, when you can expect it, and how you can expect to watch and to view all the things YSN. We're going to take you through the entire schedule of what's going to happen from right now until the end of the week and moving into the weekend, because, ladies and gentlemen, soccer is here. Volleyball is coming on Saturday. Football is coming on Thursday. Cross country is about to embark, I believe. So we're going to have you covered from pillar to post and let you know what you can expect to watch right here on the network. All right, let's start with Friday. Friday, we talked about it for weeks, months, about what kind of people are going to walk in through those doors over there on Friday and Saturday for the third. Nope. This would be number 5. The fifth official YSN boot camp, which is X'd out now, and we call it the Academy. So we had 45 people, 45 announcers, or content drivers, content kings, whatever you want to call them. They roll in here, and we had a great time. We had Mahoning Valley Sports in here taking pictures for us, for some headshots and things like that. They're always great. You had, again, 45 announcers outside of the guys that you expect to be there show up and are excited to do football, volleyball, soccer, golf. Yes. And you'll be surprised and excited about who is going to be doing golf. Not live broadcast. We're still trying to figure that out. Maybe by the end of the year, we'll have it all situated. But golf stories, golf interviews, all that stuff. 45 people on Friday night. It was a whirlwind. It just felt like it was too good to be true. And they just kept coming through the door and coming through the door and coming through the door. We're going to have you covered. Preparation-wise, I feel like we're more prepared than any year we've ever had. And I'm going to give them a shout-out straight up. Straight up. First person, Quinn Pushkar. The scheduling extraordinaire has done a wonderful job of scheduling, trying to get out in front of it. It's not always easy. It's almost never easy to get those schedules. He's got rosters now. We're working on getting rosters. We're trying to incorporate the schedules onto our site so you can see them. And if you have questions about them, you could just go to the team pages. I know Austintown Fitch's is up right now for the football. So if you want to go see Austintown Fitch, that's there. We're working slowly but surely trying to get everything accomplished. But by the end of this week, we should have it done where you can go and look at the schedule. So there's more than just coming and seeing what we have to offer from a broadcasting standpoint. You can get schedules and rosters and stuff like that. That's what we're trying to do and make it a one-stop shop for everybody. That way, if you're watching a game and you don't know who number 6 is, you can go and look at the same rosters that we have on file. So trying to make things a little easier for, but Quinn Pushkar is a big piece of why things have happened so well over the last 12 months or so. About 8 months, he's taken over that real role of being the scheduler, and it on top of all the other things that he was doing, graphics and assistant general manager duties and things like that. So Quinn, thank you very much. Naturally, he's not here. He hates being on the air, hates it with a passion, but I'm sure he'll get the shout out here, and we certainly appreciate it. The second guy I want to talk about real quick, guy that very behind the scenes for us. He's willing to do anything, but he's very engaging, especially with me, is Chris Sigler, who has been such a supporter since this thing kicked off. Started off just kind of, hey, I like what you guys do. And then we became very good friends, like very, very good friends. And Chris constantly pushes all the time, making sure that, hey, we're not satisfied. We're not going to be the ones that sit there and absorb this. And, we always want to be pushing the envelope. And Chris is a big reason of why we do that, because it's guys like him that we're 10 weeks out from football season, and I'm not even close to thinking about it. It's in the back of my mind, but I don't want to think about it because we still have an entire baseball season to get through. Chris is the guy that takes it upon himself to go, okay, have we thought about this? Are we prepared? Constant preparation for Chris Sigler, constant preparation to where it used to be we would come 2 weeks before football season and we would just grab a bunch of spaghetti, throw it at the wall, and see what sticks. So, Chris, thank you very much. Appreciate you. And I think this season is going to work faster, more fluently, and there's going to be a lot more details and detail-oriented things going on at YSN because you, my friend, are that guy. You are that detail-oriented human being. So thank you very much. I know you can't comment. We still haven't figured that out. So maybe you start working on that and prepare that one for us. But we have no clue how that happened. But that on Friday night, it was unbelievable. 45 guys. And then on the Saturday, we get another dozen or so people walking through that door, excited about what's to come this year on YSN. So overall, we had, 57-ish people plus, some of the other ones. So you do the quick math. There's people that couldn't make it because of jobs and prior commitments and things of that nature. So we are getting, and I think the official count was 68 people who will be engaging this year at YSN in the fall alone. So we lost one then we gained one back. So, for the first couple weeks, one of my main dudes, Eric Hughes, who's been great for us here the last year or so. Hopefully we can find him a home the first couple weeks because he's going to be interning at Channel 21 WFMJ. So we're excited for him. Never want to slow down the path of somebody else, especially when they're getting experience to which they otherwise wouldn't have. So again, another opportunity for a young man who deserves it, who is very good at his job. So excited for that. And again, excited for what's to come here. Okay, so we got that done. Friday, Saturday. You move on to Monday. Didn't feel like a Monday at all. Talking with the guys, we get graphics up. Let's scoot back to Sunday where I was putting the graphics together, and you may have seen the graphics with the teams up there and popping out. Well, Arbiter, I think it's called, is where people schedule the games. The teams schedule the games. Arbiter had one of the games wrong. So I put out, because it was on our schedule, that United and Waterloo were playing on Thursday. I was wrong. Kudos to Coach Ogilvy for catching that, letting us know, hey, guys, don't send anybody Thursday because nobody's going to be there. That game is happening on Friday at Waterloo, I believe. Again, still, actually, I have it right here. Let's double check. Believe it is at Waterloo. United of Waterloo. Yep. So now we're in a frenzy, right? Now we're in a situation yesterday when we're out at the extravaganza and we've got to find an announcer that all the slots are filled for Friday and all the slots are filled for Thursday. So we had somebody going out to the game on Thursday that now needs to go Friday, and that person's already going to another game. So here's where I commend Ty Bartell, because Ty actually lives out closer to anybody else next to Waterloo. And he makes the journey in each and every week to Austintown Fitch, no matter how many times a week, because that's his alma mater. So Ty, we're on the course and we're sitting there like, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. And if we get him to go here, who's going to go here? And then, it's a whole thing. Ty Bartell steps up. I sent him a text message within a minute and a half. He gets back to me and says, hey, I'll do it. No problem. Happy to help the team. That's what I love about what we have here at YSN. Everybody, it doesn't matter who they're covering. It matters that they're covered. And the last thing we want to do is let down a fan or a piece of the family that can't be at that opening week. And especially if they're not here, to be able to follow from afar is huge. So Ty Bartell steps up in a big way. He was slated to cover the Austintown Fitch game. Now it's Romo and Steve that are doing that one. And Ty says, listen, I'm taking it. He grabs a bull by the horns and goes, doing that Waterloo and United game. So thank you very much for that. It just kept on going throughout the day. Everybody's got their hand in the pile. And I think that's the biggest thing right now. We are doing games. They are not $9.99. They are not $9.99 for the regular season. They are not $9.99 for the regular season. They are free to you. Free for the regular season. Again, the only reason that we charge as of right now is because the OHSAA forces us into a situation where we have to. At, $100 per volleyball game or $250 per football game, it puts us in an ultimate situation where we have to charge because we're losing. If we're doing football games, we have 60 some schools right now, which we'll get to in a second. That's a lot of money. That's a ton of money. And we are a business. We are not a nonprofit right now. I don't think we will be. We might be affiliated with nonprofits in the future. YSN's a for-profit company. That's who we are. It's what we are. It's what we'll always be. And as a business, you have to make money and you have to at least cover your costs. And we've been fortunate the majority of the time to do that with our $9.99 fee. So to recap, there is no $9.99 fee to start the season in the regular season, nor for volleyball, nor for anything we do on a regular basis, because it's the folks like up here. It's folks like Greenwood. It's the folks like Joe Dickey Electric. It's folks like Baird Brothers, and the list goes on and on. Channel 21 WFMJ. These great people, these great businesses are giving you, they're paying for this so we can cover it during the season, covering the cost of the stream, the list go on and on. Not that you care about that, but we've had people over and over and over say, well, I would watch if it wasn't $9.99. It's not for at least 10 weeks of the football season. So enjoy it. That is, check that one off the list. Here's the other one. The Audible Call, brought to you by WRS, is back. Mike Ackelson will make his triumphant return for the third year of the Audible Call right here on your sports network. And if you are not acclimated with the Audible Call, it is the only, and I mean the only, high school red zone-like product in the world. Nobody else is doing this at the clip and the frequency that we're doing it. It is live cut-ins to each of our games. It is from pillar to post, one of the most fun ways to digest a football game that you can imagine. If you're one of those people like me that on Sundays, you turn on the Red Zone channel, you might turn on your team, but you're catching highlights from other places because of the Red Zone, you will love Audible Call. Because Mike Ackelson, to me, the GOAT, the best to ever do it, is here. He takes control of it. He gets interaction here from people around the studio. The Omaha, right, that Radar always talks about, which I'm 96% certain he'll probably comment at some point during the next 30 minutes or so. We're going to have fun on Friday nights. But also, this coming Thursday, just 2 days away, Mike came to the Academy and he talked to Quinn. We are bringing you a special edition of the Audible Call this Thursday. This Thursday on I thought I got something on my hand. On YSN, we will have a special edition of the Audible Call on a Thursday night because we will have 10 games. Yes, 10 games for you here on YSN to get the 2022 season kicked off. So Mike Ackelson is pulling double duty to make sure people are engaged and excited for this year. And you can get all that absolutely free, brought to you by our friends over at WRS Wealth Advisors and, of course, WRS Insurance as well. So thank you so much to them. Folks like WRS, who are constant supporters of what we do, cannot tell you enough, because something like that, a production like that, would cost you thousands every week. But because of who they are and what they do, they take care of that cost for you so you can enjoy it at home. Thanks again to Tommy and the whole crew out there at WRS. You mean so much to us. We love you. And we love putting on this show for everybody because it's unlike anything else in the high school, I guess they have it in college now, but in high school and below, it's the only one like it. And it's all brought to you by our friends over at WRS. So thank you very much. And Kristen's excited for it. So naturally, you should be excited for it as well. If Kristen's excited for it, because that young lady has a great future ahead of her. And she might be on some of the, or be here at some of the Audible calls. So we're excited for that. All right. So the question becomes, with the next 4 minutes or so before we get to a break, the question becomes, what do we have? Because people are saying, hey, we don't even know if you're doing football games this year. We don't know if you're doing that. We're doing it, baby. We're doing it good. We're doing it real good. And we're doing it more than we've ever done in the history of this company for the 5th consecutive year. So here we go. On Thursday, I'll give you the announcers and I'm going to give you the games. We have 10 games. Even with United and Waterloo, push back to Friday because we thought it was on Thursday. Push back to Friday. Cold-blooded. We are going to tell you that at 7 o'clock, you can catch Anthony Romo and Steve Leslie, Brookfield at Ursuline. This game is going to be off the chains. You're going to want to see that one. You know what else you're going to want to see? Anthony Malone, Cheney at Poland. Cheney gets Jason Hewlett back. Poland, will they still be as strong with some of the losses that they endured over the last year? All those graduations, you talk about Christian Colosimo, you talk about Jack Fulton, you talk about, are they still going to be as strong as they were in years past? Poland always somehow forges the way. So this is going to be another game you're not going to want to miss. And the one, the only AM, Anthony Malone, has it for you. Aaron Mosier himself is going to be following the Sebring Trojans as they host Cleveland Lincoln West. I think they're not the Raccoons. What are they? Wolverines. They're the Wolverines. That's what they are. Trash Pandas. No. Amo back in the saddle again. I know he's geared up and excited for it. Also, head on down the road to Salem. Crestview coming in, and that game always is an unbelievable one. Matt Mowry and Jared Niederheiser, the OGs of the Salem broadcast on YSN, will have the call for you at 7 o'clock from SIBO Stadium. Then you got Jackson Milton at Latonia. That also at 7 o'clock kickoff. Larry Scragg and Alec Hancock's going to be covering for us. Typically the Crestview guys for us, pulling a little bit of new blood as we go to that second year over at the brand new turf at Latonia as Jackson Milton, which I think Milton could probably have a decent year. And I really, truly believe that. Letonia's, they've got some obstacles, but as we said in their coach's corner, I really think, Coach McLaughlin and Coach Protopapa and a new coaching staff, a new era at Latonia, there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of unknowns that people are wondering what's going to happen. This one, I think, is going to be another one of those games that might be under the radar, low key right now, but at the end of the day, don't count it out. It could be the game of the night and could have some plays that are plays of the week here on YSN, brought to you by Mang Insurance. Niles at Howland. Oh, man, we've got Noah and Ian O'Brien on the call for you. You got the Howland guy. You've got the Niles guy this year, and they're bringing the action to you. 1, 2, 3, starting at 7 o'clock from Howland. Then we have YSN Primetime. It's going to be live at 5 o'clock. It's going to be Springfield at South Range. We're having it at South Range, Raiders Stadium. We'll have every one of these, hopefully, fingers crossed, every one of these announcers checking in for about 5 minutes and letting you know what's going on at that particular site on week one and what to expect. All that 5 o'clock from South Range. And then, of course, at 7 o'clock, I'll run my candy, you-know-what, right up those stairs, and it'll be what I think is going to be the game of the night, Springfield at South Range. A lot to talk about in this one, a lot to break down. Springfield drops to D7. There's no more Bo Brungard. South Range stays at D5. There's no more Dylan Dominguez, those two actually playing with each other at Youngstown State now. They're playing they're on the same team under Doug Phillips. And the beautiful thing about this is another unknown game. Sean Guerrero said the first 3 games are going to test us this year. They're going to test us and prepare us for the MVAC schedule for the last 7 weeks. Man alive. This game, I love having it week 1. It's always fun. It's always exciting. And you never know what to expect from Sean Guerrero with all the trick plays. But with Coach Yeagley doing what he always does, listen, running back by committee, that's all you need to hear. It's going to be a slobber knocker, a barn burner, and we'll have it right here on your sports network. Toronto at Wellsville. Gary and Coy, 2 Wellsville Cats, going to have the call of this one. I know Gary's amped up. I've already talked to him. He is geeked up and ready to roll for this season. It should be a good year for Wellsville, as Moose Ramsey says and reported to Gary, not only Gary Altizer, but Gary Leininger, our photographer. He said this could be a very good year. We have a lot of athletes on both sides of the ball. So excited to see that one. Toronto, always a force, so you want to see that one. You can only see it on one spot, YSN. Newton Falls at Ashtabula St. John. This will be officially our first ever game for Ashtabula St. John as part of the YSN family. Ashtabula St. John, welcome to the Fighting Heralds. We are excited to have you. We are signed, sealed, and delivered, and you will take on another YSN team in Newton Falls who is looking to get things started off fast and furious, because they, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be fun to watch this year. They've got some great talent, young talent, but they've also got some veterans returning that could make this a very interesting year over in the Falls. Richie Giuliano and Kyle Wills, the Canfield boys, will take this one for you, and we're excited, again, to welcome in Ashtabula St. John. Another first, as we welcome the Edgewood Warriors to the YSN network of teams. That game at 7 o'clock. They will take on Conneaut at Conneaut, and our boys, Sammy and Ryan from 440 in goal, will have that game for you as their first official football game under the YSN banner. So we're excited to welcome them. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, that's 10 games on a Thursday. We haven't even got to Friday. In fact, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to give you the Friday lineup right here on your sports network after a word from these awesome sponsors making it all possible for you.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
We are Kent State in the Valley. Start and finish one of more than 25 bachelor's or associate degree programs, or start one of Kent State's 280 majors. With low tuition, public, and plenty of scholarship opportunities, we will help you maximize your education and minimize student debt. Enjoy the benefits of a smaller campus with all the opportunities of a large university. Save money, stay close to home. Apply today by visiting kent.edu/Trumbull.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience, WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit WRSwealth.com. Good luck, athletes.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
All right, welcome back to the Ysn Power Hour. DJ with you here as we just talked about the Thursday games. Let's give you one more rundown of that in case you're just tuning in after the break. Brookfield, Ursuline, Cheney, Poland, Cleveland, Lincoln West at Sebring, Crestview and Salem, Jackson, Milton and Leetonia, Niles in Howland, Springfield, South Range, Toronto and Wellsville, Newton Falls and Ashtabula, St. John, and the 10th is Edgewood and Conneaut. All those games starting at 7 p.m. And we, of course, again, will have YSN Primetime on the road at South Range starting at 5, where you will have check-ins from all those announcers from all those places right here on your sports network leading up to kickoff of the 2022 football season. Now, what's interesting to me before we get to the Friday games, and I'm sorry, I don't want to push away, and I feel like I keep doing this to you. What's interesting to me is that there's no 5:30 games. There's no 6:30 games this year. Typically, there's one team or another team that'll do it. Leetonia, I believe, is typically the team that is really good at getting ahead of it and having the first official game of the season in the state of Ohio. Nobody this year is stepping up and doing a 6:30 game, 6 o'clock game, whatever it may be. So interesting to me that didn't happen. I don't know why. There could be a reason, and probably is, that I have no idea in regards to, but pretty cool nonetheless that everybody wants that primetime game at 7 o'clock as the season gets started here, and everybody's back. Everybody's back. Cross your fingers, knock on wood. There's no COVID. There's no COVID to keep everybody out of the stands. Everybody's going to be back, and I fully expect that all of these stands are going to be jam-packed full of fans this year. So let's get to those Friday games. All right, so when you look at it, Beaver Local at Indian Valley, that's going to be Michael McKenzie. The legend on Michael McKenzie will have that game for you. Another great game. Beaver Local with high expectations under Mike McKenzie this year, with all the returners they have coming back and some of the hottest talent coming up in the ranks from 8th grade into the freshman year. So Beaver Local, a team to watch, and certainly Mikey McKenzie is going to have that covered for you for us here at YSN. All right, then Donnie Riccatelli and the Boardman crew they're going to have Boardman and Cardinal Mooney. That game going to be played at Mineral Ridge. That, again, where Mooney will play their games at this season. And they start off against Boardman. And that is going to be, listen, I think there's a lot of people that sit there and watch that game and say, okay, what do we expect this year? What do we expect? A new coach in DJ Dota taking over for Seth Antrim after only a year. And then you have, on the other side, Carl Pellini, who certainly can put a hot product on the field any given year. A disappointing year last year, and I don't expect that 2 years in a row, but I'm still up in arms of who's going to take this game. I'm absolutely we're going to have to pick it, but I don't know at this point who I'm going to take on Friday. So then you turn it over and you've got Michael and Chuck in, without a doubt, one of the hottest games on Friday. It's going to be Canfield to West Branch. A lot of people scratching their heads about West Branch right now. There's a lot of rumors floating around about what happened in that scrimmage last weekend against South Range. There's a lot of people wondering what's going on. Coach Pav, I'm sure, has got his hands on that tape somehow, some way. So he's going to be able to scout out West Branch. And West Branch got Drew DeShields. And much like the Steelers had for 18 years, anytime you have one guy that's the quarterback of your team, much like Ben Roethlisberger, much like Tom Brady with the Patriots and now the Buccaneers, anytime you have Drew DeShields, you have a chance. And I think the Warriors have much more than a chance. I think this game could go one of two ways. It's either going to be a very good game or it could be a learning experience for one of these teams. Again, two of the best quarterbacks matching up in this matchup in week 1 is going to be fun to watch. You've got Brock Lowry, you've got Drew DeShields, and you're going to have some fun watching this one here on the network. Then it's Cardinal and Garfield. Garfield, one of our favorite teams to watch, certainly went out there last year for prime time. They've got some losses. They're going to have to lick their wounds a little bit from last year, but I don't think anybody in this area is ever, and I mean ever, going to count out Garfield again, because I mean, teams that counted out Garfield lost to Garfield. And they had a pretty daggone good season last year, if you ask me. So we'll see if they can bounce back. Let's see what else they have growing on that tree out there in Garrettsville that they can just pluck right off the vine and insert into that dynamic offense that you can run in a telephone booth at times. So excited to see this one. Cardinal at Garfield, that one, 7 p.m. right here on YSN. Columbiana at Lowellville, Joe Eusebio, and of course, Eric Hopkins. He's on for another year. Listen, a new quarterback for the Clippers. And then on the other side, well, you've got not so much of a new quarterback. You got one of the hottest quarterbacks in the Valley in Vinny Ballone. And this kid, he's going to make a dent this year. I'm telling you, he's on a warpath. He doesn't have to be in the shadow necessarily of any quarterbacks in the conference anymore. Vinny Ballone is going to make and create and stamp his legacy as a Lowellville quarterback, yes, but as a Valley quarterback this year. And he's going to do it starting on YSN, 7 p.m. on Friday night. David Williams, Jamie Thompson, the voices of the Hubbard Eagles will take that game as the Hubbard Eagles will host East to open up the season. These guys going to be fun. I mean, they're fun to listen to already, but Hubbard, another team. TC Caffey, gone. What are you going to do? What's Hubbard going to be like this year? Jamie says, and I'm not going to spoil anything, Jamie says could be not only a winning season, but a playoff season for the Eagles. Again, I think he said 7-3, 8-2, somewhere around that mark. That'd be a great mark for the Eagles, especially if they can get things started early against East. East, another young program trying to contend, and I'm going to say they're opening up eyes this year. I don't know if it starts with Hubbard, but I'm going to say they open up eyes this year with Coach Mark at the helm once again. So 7 o'clock, that game, East at Hubbard. David and Jamie will have the coverage for you. East Liverpool and Minerva, well, Chris Ziegler stepping up once again, taking over the coverage, at least for this game for East Liverpool, as the Potters head down to Minerva. Potters looking for a big year. Mason Ludwig, the Toledo commit, he's the unequivalent leader of that team. Everybody looking to him to be the guy to lead the Potters back to the playoffs this year, and he gets to start it against Minerva over at the Lions Stadium over there. So excited to see it, excited to have it. Chris Ziegler's got the coverage for you starting at 7 p.m. with the kickoff over there. Matt Marr and Jordan Williams going to take you on a ride over to Streetsboro, where Gerard will take the show on the road to start the year over towards the Rockets. That game kicks off at 7 p.m. as well. Matt Marr putting in big time this summer. 183 baseball games, I think, and he's earned it. He's earned the right to call himself the voice of the Indians here this year. So looking forward to that one. And then we have a little bit of a fusion as Grand Valley will take on Jefferson at Jefferson, and Pat Sarter and the 440 and Gold Boys will take that game for us. Another game starting at 7 p.m. Jefferson's last season in the Northeast 8 Conference, and they will take on another piece of that Ashtabula County team. It's Grand Valley, who, by the way, another team that signed on with Your Sports Network. So welcome, Grand Valley. We're excited to have you here. Who else we have? Henderson International at Austintown Fitch. Henderson, I think it's Hills International or something like that. They're from Las Vegas, essentially. Just literally 2 miles, I think, from Las Vegas. And they're taking on Austintown Fitch. We will have Coach TJ Parker on the show tomorrow. And the first question I'm going to have, second question. First question is, how was your summer? Second question is going to be, Las Vegas. How do you book a team from Las Vegas to come and take on what I think is going to be a pretty damn good Austintown Fitch team this year, even with some of the losses that they've had? Devin Sherwood, main one. I think they're still going to be able to put it together. How do you even scout a team from Las Vegas? All those questions answered tomorrow right here on the show when TJ Parker swings by. Anyway, Anthony Romo and Steve Leslie will have the call on that one as well. So we'll keep the dynamic duo together on Thursday and Friday as we head into some great games. LeBray at Lakeview, Brian Oatridge will take that one. Odie did some great calls for us over the past year or so. I think he jumped on. His mom takes pictures as well, part of the team from a photography standpoint. So we're excited for LeBray, the new look LeBray Vikings, and taking on Lakeview, who really in desperate need of some victories. I mean, it's been a tough run the last couple of years for Lakeview, and I think this could be a nice little start to their 22 season if they play their cards right. Liberty at Western Reserve. Richie Giuliano will have the coverage of that one. Again, John Armini, first-year coach at Western Reserve after he leaves LeBray. Liberty, what are they going to be like without some of their key pieces returning? It's another battle of unknowns. If I know John Armini, I know that he's going to be prepares like no other. And I know that he is one of the best ad-lib adjustment coaches there is out there. And I expect fully for him to have a big-time night, to start things off at his tenure at Western Reserve. So Richie will have all the coverage for you. Malvern at East Palestine, the Figley boys back at it as the East Palestine Bulldogs under the new helm of Michael Dempster. And Michael Dempster also, for those of you who don't know, he is an author. He has a book out there. You can get it on Amazon. I think it's called Coach Speak. I got it over the weekend. I'm waiting to dig into it. Can't wait. But he will take over for Tony Foster, and he will try to get the Bulldogs back on track. Flip the switch is the new motto there, and they're going to have to flip that switch against a very good Malvern team that is coming to Bulldog country. Timmy and Danny Figley will have the coverage for you starting at 7 o'clock from right down the street in the Memorial Stadium. And then we have, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Southern Local. The Southern Local Indians are local, they are loyal, and they are live on YSN. They will have their first game against McDonald on YSN. Thank you to not only Coach Shansky, but the entire administration at Southern Local. It's been a long time coming, and we're so glad we can finally kind of make things happen. Blue and gold versus blue and gold. And I will have the first ever call at Southern Local at the Wigwam on Friday night at 7 p.m. Jake Silak makes his triumphant return to the airwaves as he will take on he will have his alma mater, Middle Ridge, taking on Pie Valley. He's making the trip all the way out to Pie Valley. Jake Silak will have the coverage of that one. Again, 7 p.m. And the Rams, got to believe they're ready. But Pie Valley, they are huge out there. Like, I just remember the running back looked like someone who was a left tackle. And he just plowed over people left and right. So Ridge is going to have to be ready if that size returns for Pie Valley on Friday night. Monroe Central will take on Edison. Noah Doty is making the journey down to Richmond Edison to take that one in for YSN. We're excited. Again, Wildcat football on the network in that stadium that is, I want to say it's the second season. All of their stadiums were done. Their football stadium, their track, of course, their baseball stadium, and their softball stadium are all like that watermelon turf. And it is sharp. And if you can see it from above and all the lights are turned on at night, it is one of the most beautiful facilities there is in that area. So excited for Noah to take in a game like that down in Richmond. Let's get to St. Thomas Aquinas taking on Struthers. Ian O'Brien and Eric Hughes will be pulling double duty for us there at 7 p.m. St. Thomas Aquinas, a team that has had some tough times lately, but Struthers, a team with Chaz Cognac and some of the great players over there. Chaz pulling double duty. Unbelievable golfer and an unbelievable wide receiver. We'll see if he gets put to the test on Friday night as St. A's takes on Struthers at 7 p.m. Again, Ian and Eric on the call for that one. Bob Burek will have the call from Steubenville as Louisville makes their big start against the Big Red. That game at 7 o'clock as the Mustang, they're going to try to keep that Mustang tamed down. The horse on the scoreboard that breathes fire. Like, calm it down a little bit. Calm it down, even though I love it. It was an amazing experience, to say the least, when we saw it happening. But Steubenville, not a YSN team. Louisville is. Lep's going to try to quiet down that Mustang on top of the scoreboard and keep it extinguished. Valley Christian, at Camel Memorial. My dude, Andy Hake, gold-blooded. He is going to he's going to be taking on Camel. It's a home game for both teams because Valley plays at Camel with their home games. So it's going to be interesting. Alec Caberna, Matt Morrison will have the call on this. They'll follow Valley Christian again this year, it looks like. They'll follow Coach Hake. We will have Coach Hake and his unbelievable words of wisdom coming up this week on YSN. Cannot wait to get Coach's Corner started again with my buddy Andy. We've had conversations all summer long, and we're both ready for it. Warren JFK and Champion. We've got Larry Scragg and Alec Hancock's taking that one as well. So they go from Latonia one night to Champion the next. Warren JFK at Champion. This is a little bit of an internal rivalry because you see some of these kids from Champion end up going to JFK and sometimes vice versa. So this will be an interesting one. Two teams that are well acquainted with each other. And that game, again, kicks off at 7 p.m. Two more before we let you go. It's Wyndham and Lisbon. Rick Daly, my main man. Rick, you never know what he's going to do in the booth. He's talked to volleyballs. He's talked to footballs. He's pretended to be Christopher Walken. He's done a lot of stuff. But on Friday, he will announce the Wyndham at Lisbon opener for the brand new turf stadium at Lisbon High School, David Anderson High School. And I know there's a lot of people that are excited for that. I'm interested because I heard a rumor that the field goal posts are not, the permanent ones are not going to be ready. So to bring in temporary ones, I'll have to ask Kyle Bing what that's all about and see how you do that. I mean, it could be like Little Giants where they're holding each other's hand and walking around with the field goal post, their hands in the air. And of course, last but not least, the one that we thought was on Thursday, it is indeed on Friday. It is United. It is Waterloo. And it's at their brand new press box that they've worked so incredibly hard on. So proud of Coach DeVries and everything that he's done out there. Ty Bartell, so gracious to move his schedule around to go in his backyard and watch these two teams clash. I'm always excited. I'm always interested of what DJ Ogilvy can put on the field each and every year after he loses some of his best talents that have ever walked the halls there. In Brutus Ogilvy, his son at quarterback. And of course, this year's no different. It's going to be exciting to see what they have coming back. And we'll find out Friday, I guess. We'll find out Friday because they're keeping things a little tight-lipped over there in Hanoverton. So excited for that. And of course, we're excited for Waterloo to be featured more often right here on the network now that we can get to their home games and now that press box is built. Thank you so much to everybody involved in that because I think you're going to have a product to be proud of, certainly here in 2022. That is your coverage. Oh, but wait, there's more. On Saturday, volleyball kicks off. And you think we're just going to let volleyball slide under the rug? You think we're just going to let it hit the floor without us trying to dig it out? Oh, no. Oh, no, my friend. 11:15. We get things started from Austin Town Fitch. Ty Bartell is going to have that game. Perry versus Fitch at 11:15. At 11:30, we're going to have Gerard at Canfield. Richie's going to be at that game. 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 a.m. Yours truly going to be at South Range for it is West Branch at South Range, West Branch at Southeast, and Southeast at South Range. I will have each and every one of those calls bright and early in the morning on Saturday. Excited for it. My wife's probably not, but that's another story. We are on to another twosome of games. Hubbard is hosting Cheney at 11:30. Noah Doty has the coverage of that volleyball match. He will be out early at Hubbard, taking the journey from, I think he lives in Springfield, all the way to Hubbard. So we're excited for him. Chris Sigler is going to take McDonald at Columbiana, a big matchup for Columbiana. The Clippers expecting to be very good this year. And they're going to be challenged, as always, by that Wellsville Tiger team. We move on to the 12 o'clock hour. Lakeview at Carnemooney. The girls' sports dean in this area, Anthony Hartwig, handpicked this game, said, I want it, I'm taking it, and he will have Lakeview at Carnemooney, which should be a dynamite matchup. Boys soccer. You thought we were done? Just soccer in general. You thought we were done? No. There's more. I'm trying to, fingers crossed, make the trip to Boardman at Archbishop Hoban at Boardman trying to get that covered for you as well. South Range at Ursuline, Dom Polkovich and Richie Giuliano will have that coverage as the Raiders take on the Irish. Dom, our first-year announcer, being paired up with Richie Giuliano, who is the best announcer we have, bar none, hands down. And we're so proud of him. And he's becoming more of a mentor and tutor. So thanks to Richie for that, and welcome aboard, Don Polkovich. And then girls soccer at 2:30, we got Canfield and Ursuline. Those two will have that one as well. So they got not back-to-backs because I think there's some time in the middle. But at 2:30, they'll have Canfield at Ursuline, 7 p.m. South Range at Ursuline. So 3 soccer games on Saturday. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 volleyball games on Saturday. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll say it once, I'll say it forever. YSN is the place to be when it comes to local sports. Nowhere else are you going to get that many games for absolutely free to tune in from the games that you're at on Thursday night, the games that you're at on Friday night, the games that you want to see on Saturday. It's here. It's here. And I tell you all the time, and it's one thing to say it, it's another to back it up. We are going to be here. We're not going anywhere, and we will continue to push and push and push and bring more people in so until we are the official home for all of high school sports all year round. And we're going to do it right here on YSN. I cannot stress enough. I cannot stress enough. We cannot do what we do without you. You are the thing that makes it so possible, right? So when there's before there was anybody, before there was any one of our sponsors, there was you. There was the belief in what we do each and every week and why we do it each and every week. And we cannot thank you enough. I really, truly hope that you feel like this is yours. That's why we named it Your Sports Network. You want us to go to one game. You want us to do a T-ball game. You want us to do lacrosse. You want us to do bocce. It doesn't matter. We'll go out and we'll do it as long as it's something you're going to tune in for. Without you, there's no sponsors. Sponsors want to be seen. And without you, they're not seen. And ladies and gentlemen, as we kind of let the cat out of the bag on Friday and Saturday, over 5 million views on our webpage this year, August 16th. And we feel like there's another 5 million more in the bag in the fall and the early parts of the winter. Our goal is 10 million hits by the end of 2022. And we could not do it without you. And we're so grateful. We're so thankful for every piece of support that we've had, from a financial commitment to these great sponsors, to just watching us, to watching this show, to watching me do this for an hour a day. We cannot thank you enough. And we are so proud to be from here, from Youngstown, from East Palestine, from Columbiana, wherever you're from. It's our goal to make things relevant, this show relevant, and our games relevant to you. So again, for the millionth time, and there will be a million more, thank you. From the bottom of our heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're giving people opportunities to live out their lifelong dream, myself included. And again, we couldn't do it without you. Thank you very much. We're going to close out the show as we do each and every day with the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark? Here we go. It's the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark? Anything commercial, residential, anything electrical. Head over to DickeyElectric.com and let them do the work, because they're professionals. Unlike you and I, if there was something going wrong in my house and something was sparking, I wouldn't know where to start. But you know who does? Our friends over at Joe Dickey Electric. So make sure you're giving them a call, or head on over to their website. It's DickeyElectric.com for all your electric needs. All right. So, okay. Again, cool moment. I'm gonna spin it back here locally and to kind of where I'm at. The Daryl Strawberry thing was unreal. So when I started playing baseball when I was 4 years old, 5 years old, whatever it was, my grandma Brown, who lived in Verona, New York at the time, which is upstate New York, where much like Youngstown, half of the population are Met fans and half the population are Yankee fans. My grandma, which I would spend about 6 weeks every summer during vacation at her house up in upstate New York with her and my family and my friends up there, bought me a Daryl Strawberry starting lineup action figure. And it came with a card and all that stuff. Now I'm into cards and what would become into cards. But at that point, the card was kind of separate because I had like an action figure, right? Every little kid loves action figure. It's a toy. It is what it is. But basically, for those of you who don't know, a starting lineup figure is basically a statue, a plastic statue of a player that is supposed to resemble the player. It's nothing like the McFarlanes are anymore. It was basically just a plastic, guy that had his jersey on, had his number on. That was it. Like the facial expressions, it was nothing. Like Daryl didn't have hair. This guy had hair on him. So it was wild. Anyway, my grandma gives that to me when I'm 5 years old. Means so much to me. Like you don't get very many baseball action figures, right? So I kept that all the way up until, I was 24 when I moved out of the house and got married. So it was still in a box downstairs. To be able to meet, like I looked up to Daryl Strawberry, didn't even know who he was. Like just because my grandma gave it to me, I was an instant Met fan. You know what I mean? Just like because. And naturally Daryl Strawberry was my favorite player. Then it got to be Barry Bonds, then Bobby Bonilla, Jay Bell, like you just go on and on and on. So my grandma, gives me this figure, and lo and behold, some 22 years later, wrong, bad math, 32 years later, there he is, like the real dude right in front of me. And again, I put out on my Facebook, it's like, I feel like people try to get overly sentimental on posts and things of that nature. Not huge sentimental, but when I had the chance to kind of step back yesterday and watch Daryl and kind of put things in perspective a little bit while I had, our good friends around, and you sit there and you sometimes when you're in the mix of things, you don't realize how blessed you are and favored you are in life. And, I lost my grandma a few years ago, and she lived a great life, and she was an awesome grandma, like to every one of her grandchildren. And from that standpoint, always encouraged me to follow my dreams. So it was a little one of those, like, when people see a cardinal, they feel like, I think there's some kind of folktale that, somebody's visiting you. For me, that was kind of cool yesterday because I felt like, Grandma Brown just kind of gave me a wink and said, don't forget where you came from and certainly never give up on your dreams. So although it probably had nothing to do with any of that stuff, at least internally, that's how I felt. So it was a cool moment for me. It was a positive spark for me yesterday, especially before this crazy week that we're beginning. So God bless you, Grandma. We miss you. We love you. And naturally, thank you, Daryl Strawberry, for taking a moment to take a picture with us and seemingly everybody there, because there's a lot of people that were really excited to see you yesterday. And thank you, Youngstown State University baseball, Danny Bertolini, Shane Davis, Bunny, the whole crew that put that on, because it was a 10 out of 10. It was a 10 out of 10, and you're not going to hear me say otherwise. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been your Power Hour, a little bit of overtime for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you tune in tomorrow. We'll have TJ Parker on the show, and hopefully, fingers crossed, a few other guests as well. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and always remember, you can find everything you need locally here on ysnlive.com. We'll see you next time. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats,